Canada's housing is unaffordable. Canada's groceries are unaffordable. Public transit is maxed out in Canada. ERs are overwhelmed here. Wages are flat. But here's what your Liberal government just did. Again, they introduced Bill C-2, a hollow attempt to clean up the immigration mess that they created. While Prime Minister Mark Carney smiles through another press conference and feeds us more lip service, pretending he's got this under control, he doesn't. And we are paying the price. Let's go.
Welcome to Bakes on Things.
Welcome back to Bakes on Things. Let's break it down. From 2015 to 2025, under Trudeau and now Carney, the Liberals have overseen the largest spike in immigration in Canadian history. In 2023 alone, Canada brought in over 1.2 million people between permanent residents, international students, and temporary foreign workers. That's a 20% population surge in 3 years. And they had the audacity to call all of this planned. But here's the kicker. We didn't build the infrastructure to support any of that. Not at all. Housing, we know that wasn't enough. Transit, overrun in our major cities. Healthcare, collapsing all around us. Jobs, concentrated in low wage, high inflation sectors. We didn't prepare. And by we, I mean the Liberals. The Liberals called this economic growth, but what they really created was absolute chaos. They used immigration to pump GDP numbers while ignoring the fact that real wages per capita had already dropped. Housing costs had exploded, and newcomers were forced to live five to a room just to survive in this country. And if you dare question this, well, you're xenophobic. But this isn't about race. This is about math, planning, and leadership, Liberals. And guess what? You're 0 for 3. So let's talk about Mark Carney for a second, because he's the big change everybody thought they were voting for in the Liberal world. The supposed genius, business genius from Bank of England and Bank of Canada, the guy who was supposed to be the adult in the room now, has offered literally nothing but vague bromides about managing growth and ensuring sustainable migration since the election. I haven't seen any action. Have you? His May 2025 statement said, "We must strike the right balance between attracting talent and supporting housing affordability." Wow. Bold stuff there, Mark. How exactly? See, what we're not asking and should is, where's the policy? Where's the timeline? Where's the action, Mark? Under Mark Carney's leadership, since the April election, not a single serious federal housing program tied to immigration metrics has been announced. Not one. All we've seen is more PR and one useless gesture just this week in Bill C-2. So, what's in Bill C-2? It was introduced on Wednesday with great fanfare by the Liberals. Here's the pitch. It's supposed to streamline pathways to permanent residency for highly skilled workers, give the provinces more say, and ensure that newcomers aren't overloading stressed housing markets. That's what it's advertised to do. And that sounds good, right? Maybe. Here's what it actually does. If you read it, it ignores the student visa explosion, which is one of the largest drivers of housing strain and wage depression in urban centers in this country. It fails to cap temporary foreign workers, which continue to flood the job markets, drive down wages, and undercut local employment. It offloads responsibility to provinces. Now, what this does, this is the key to this one, it lets the feds wash their hands of housing and zoning while still setting sky-high immigration targets. And get this, it doesn't even include a housing affordability clause. The problem this caused in the first place. Not one benchmark, not one accountability mechanism, not one. Bill C-2 is a glorified press release, a rebranding effort, a way to make it look like they're doing something without doing anything that might piss off developers, universities, or corporate donors. And it's passing the buck to the provinces, which will then be used later to say, hey, this wasn't their problem anymore. But let's talk impact. Since 2015, Canada's population has grown by nearly 5.5 million people. Meanwhile, housing completions have virtually flatlined. Now, here's what that has done. Average home prices, as we know, are up over 85% over the last decade. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Toronto is now $2,600 a month. Immigrant families, international students, and working class Canadians are competing for the same units. They're all trying to live in the same spots. Newcomers are being exploited, living in illegal basement units or being forced into housing scams that they now can't get out of. Oh, and the wages, that argument as well. Well, for the average Canadian worker, real income has actually declined since 2019 when you factor in inflation. So ask yourself, who is this system really actually working for? Well, one group it's working for are developers. Also, landlords seem to be enjoying this system. Temporary labor employers probably enjoying this too. Liberal vote banks, maybe. It's not working for Canadians, though. And it's not working for immigrants either when we really take a deep look at it. So now you've got a problem, Liberals. You've got it not working for the Canadian citizens born and raised here or the ones who choose to come here. Now, watch carefully. The Liberals are about to pivot. Just like Carney hinted last week, they'll say the provinces control zoning and permits. The cities need to build more housing. This is wrong. The federal government controls immigration levels. Full stop, Mark. Point final. They flood the system without preparing the ground. And now they want the provinces to mop up the mess. They want the cities to permit more houses. That's their fault, not ours. This is like inviting 30 people to your house, ordering zero food, and blaming your roommate for the riot. It's literally insane. Literally insane policy. I mean, really. What we are seeing is a deliberate policy choice, not an accident. The Liberals are using immigration as a smokescreen to get out of other issues, to inflate economic numbers that don't really exist, to drive demand in the housing market, to avoid hard reforms that they'll have to take on in productivity and taxation. Now, they won't admit it, but they are using population growth as a substitute for actual economic growth, and Canadians, especially the working class and newcomers, are all paying for it at the exact same time. So where do we sit? This isn't anti-immigration. We need immigration under control, but we need it. This is pro-planning, pro-accountability, pro-frickin' sanity. We need a system that aligns immigration with housing and health capacities. We need a system that cracks down on exploitative student visas and work permits. One that ends fake virtue signaling of Bill C-2. See if that one gets passed. Demands real leadership from Mark Carney, not polished sound bites. Enough already with the sound bites. Let's get some action going. Canada deserves an immigration policy that works for everyone, not just for donors and developers. Mark Carney just talks, talks, talks. He promises balance, but he needs to deliver it or step aside because Canadians are done paying the price for your failure to lead, sir. My name is Chris Baker. If you like this, please subscribe, hit the like button. If you have some thoughts on this issue, make a comment. I tend to try to respond to all of them. And if you disagree, make the comment anyway. I'm not worried about that. Let's have the conversation. Thanks for watching Bakes on Things. We're back again tomorrow with our Saturday edition, but I appreciate you watching today and have a great day, everybody.